Hey fam, thank you guys so much for joining me today. So you guys know I get super excited just like a little kid when we have guests on our show. And today you guys, we have Ashley with us from Alexander Renee Design. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. So you guys, we are going to jump right into questions to tell us about Alexander Renee Design and how was that birth, Ashley?
So it's really funny. A lot of people think that my name is Alexandra, and it's actually not. So Alexander is actually my son's middle name, and then Renee, while it is my middle name, it's also my daughter's middle name, and so it really came from a combination of them. So I love design, but I love my children, and so I wanted it to be inspired by them. So something a little different instead of Ashley Renee Design. One, there's 1,000 Ashleys, so I definitely didn't want to do that. But it just sounded good. I felt like long term, it was something that, I could keep with me because I, had the foresight to name my children that, and I love their name, out myself. And so, yeah, that's really where it came from.
How did this come about? Like Alexander Renee Design, is this a passion or was this actually something that you went to school for?
Because I work full time. I'm actually a policy analyst. So that's what I went to school for. And I love that job, but it's not a creative job. And so this is kind of that outlet for me. It started with, we have a real estate investment company, and I actually have designed all of our rentals and then the flips that we have that we've done here in Atlanta. And it started with that. We move a lot. So I'm actually on fourth house, and it started with my third, and then started building our current home. And so I wanted to take people along on that process. And so I started kind of documenting the construction journey. And it really turned into focusing more on the design side of things once we got in. So then I started, like, once we got in, hit the ground running, we started doing DIY projects. We try to take people along with that. And then just designing the rooms bit by bit. And then I started sharing what I do for others. I was before to kind of doing in-person friends and family or those who were close by because I don't like to drive. But now I can help people kind of all over. So I have clients in California, two in New York. And so it really allows me to expand my services, but then also, touch more homes. So it's really fun.
And your work is fabulous, and just I love how you take us along on that journey. But do you consider aesthetics or functionality more important?
So I would not consider one over the other, but if I had to pick, I would say functionality. If your home does not work for you, it doesn't matter how beautiful it is, it's waste. It's a waste of space. Beautiful spaces on their own without functionality and serving whatever purpose that is for you makes no sense. Like my son's favorite spot. He loves to lay on the velvet couch upside down or lay across right ottoman. And so I just made sure that those fabrics were responsive to the fact that I have two young kids. I don't want no touch spaces. I don't design no touch spaces for people because I think it's really a waste of square footage. I mean, but for most of us, we need either multi-purpose spaces with operating from home, working from home, kids schooling from home, limited square footage on where you live. And so I think every space does absolutely need to be functional, but just because it's functional doesn't mean that it can't be beautiful as well.
And like you said, you could do that by choosing the right types of fabrics and still have this gorgeous living room, but that you can live in.
Yeah, exactly. I think fabrics are really, and then also just designing spaces in a way in which you're going to be the most comfortable. But functionality is key. Starting with what you need and then moving on to what you want, because you can always incorporate wants into
And
things.
Ashley, I don't know if you remember this or if you even had any relatives like this. I never forget growing up, some of my aunts, great aunts, had the plastic on the really
Yep.
nice furniture.
The do not touch room. And
What would be one of your, I guess, pride and joy type of projects or in your portfolio?
I am really, really happy with my current home. And I know that's not necessarily a project, but it's like in the larger grand scheme of things, because I didn't let other people's kind of interpretations of what design should be or what they want in their home influence this journey in this house at all. I have a lot of black, as you can see, lots of black. Black makes me happy. And so I think really just kind of giving into personal taste and doing what I want. And if it does great on Instagram or people enjoy it, I'm very, very happy and very appreciative. But being able to do something different, that's why I really, really love designing for others, because I can live out like those dreams, like, oh, I really love modern farmhouse. It's not my style, but I'm finding it because it's a very beautiful open area aesthetic. Same with boho. And just being able to do those and kind of live out other houses and other people's houses is really fun as well.
Do you have clients that just let you have at it and you have free reign?
The best client, I will be biased here. The best client, any interior designer is going to tell you, the best client is one who gives you free range. Like you have the things where it's like, I really hate red, make sure there's no red, but I trust you, do your thing, because then you're not going to have as much back and forth and you can really get creative. And I want more of those
Yes.
people to say,
Dream clients, right?
yeah.
So Ashley, what is your best tip for a interior design enthusiast like myself who
Oh my gosh. I think anybody can design. They really can. I think knowing your strengths and weaknesses for sure, but then trusting your gut, because your home should be a reflection of you. So we should be able to put our own touch on it. And I think that's where people get scared and they get nervous. If you like it, love it, like own it. If you see something and it completely reflects your style, like go ahead and do that. And so like my kids, this is one of the things that my kids play with all the time. There's almost an hourglass in every room. And I don't think a lot of people know, but whenever I see one, I go and I pick it up. Cool shape. Like I've got like a hexagon kind of one that's got like something in the center, like on the outside. But that's something that lots of people wouldn't care about, right? But that reflects my personal style. And then I would also say, don't second guess yourself.
And you guys, last but not least, we have a little treat, but she's just going to show us how to just make our entryway, our doorway look gorgeous for this spring. So take a look at this clip from Ashley. So Ashley, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us time out of your busy day. I know you have a lot of things to get done. And so we appreciate your time on behalf of me and my audience for sharing some of your insight with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure. And it's so much fun to be able to talk about, what I love, and hopefully like someone has gotten a tip.
So you guys, thank you so much for joining Ashley and myself today. And we hope you guys enjoyed this segment, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.